welcome back to another video. This is going to be an interesting one. So if you've watched my previous videos, you've seen that I saddled Pallene multiple times with several saddles. She walked, trotted, and cantered with it and was completely perfect the whole time. She was soft and relaxed with it and was just perfectly comfortable, and I was super happy with how she was doing, as she didn't show any signs of wanting to buck, and she was completely free with her movement. Unfortunately, I only have 2 videos from this next session, but basically, after all those times of being fine with the saddle, she went into the canter and just blew up with no warning. I mean, it was just a split second. She just leapt into these huge bucks, and unfortunately Miriam had to stop filming to latch the gate so that Pallene didn't risk any chance of going through it. She didn't buck for too much longer, but it did take her a little bit to stop, unfortunately. She's pretty interesting. She isn't bothered by much, but once she gets bothered by something, she blows up. So here is the slow-mo. She did pick up the wrong lead, but you can tell she was completely unbothered and then just randomly leapt into this huge buck. And I don't know if just being on the wrong lead made her feel uncomfortable when she decided to buck, but she definitely gave no warning whatsoever. And of course, the way she was bucking here, I had to let go of the lead rope, and then she went bucking quite around. I just have no idea what set her off so bad, but thankfully she never bucked again after that. So I decided to try to get her to canter one more time, which she did very nicely. She was limping a little bit, unfortunately. She must have strained something, but it wasn't too bad, and we ended on a good note. She also wasn't limping anymore the next day, which was really good. So sadly, a lot of our sessions aren't on video, but this is just a few days later after I'd done quite a bit more desensitization. I wanted to put a whole bunch of things on her to make sure she's totally fine with it.
Yeah.
I hung these 2 pool noodles on her to try to get her used with stuff hanging around her belly. And she was a little bit nervous to start with, but wasn't very uncomfortable and trotted around very good from the start. I'm really proud of how she handled them. Since she was good with the pool noodles, I decided to put a butt rope on her, and she was quite nervous to start with, didn't know about the feeling of that on her hind legs, but she actually made progress extremely quickly and just realized it wasn't really messing with her.
Which is good.
I'm honestly really happy with this trot here. It wasn't super skittish or anything. Here I asked her to canter, and I'm actually really happy. A lot of horses will kick out with the butt rope, and I expected her to, but she was actually perfect for it. And here again, going the other way, that was a really, really great canter. She did so good with that, and I went ahead and let her end there. Really happy she didn't have any blow-ups. So the next day, I decided to put a blanket on her. Like I said, I just want her to get used to a whole bunch of things on her. And there she looked really nice, even with having the blanket over her hindquarters. So I'm really happy with that progress. Just tried to get her really comfortable with it. Since she was perfect with all of that, I decided to try to walk around on her and get her to take her first steps with me on her. We didn't do much at all, so I don't really call this our official first ride, but this was just kind of my first time walking around and taking a few steps with her. I started out just asking for flexing in both directions. She was pretty nice and soft with it. Just letting her stand there and get used to me. Then I ended up getting off and leading her to a different spot because I didn't want her so close to the other side. So once I was on her on this side, I started to work on asking for some yields. I start out by asking her to move to the side with my leg, and eventually I'll push her forward and try to get her to step in a straight line. Yields are really useful because I can start to teach her forward movement through them. Here I start by guiding her head to the side and then kind of encouraging her to walk forward And she took her first forward steps. Then I picked up the reins to guide her in the other direction, and this one was pretty nice. She started to get some steps on a circle. You can tell she still has the basics of a yield, but she also took some forward steps through it. She got a little confused when I asked for a backup here, but she got it pretty quick and gave me a nice step. We had some more really nice forward steps here. She's actually already starting to learn what leg pressure means, and I'm really happy with how quickly she got the hang of that. She kept going for a pretty good distance here and was just pretty soft through it, so I decided to end on that and go ahead and get off. Thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for Pallene's official first ride.